I just ran both Gemini 3.5 and Claude through the same 20 real-world agent tasks, and one of them crashed spectacularly while the other barely broke a sweat. Here's what actually happened. Look, AI agents are everywhere right now. Everyone's talking about how they're going to replace entire workflows, write your emails, manage your calendar, run your data pipelines, whatever. But there's a massive gap between this sounds cool in theory and this actually works when you need it to. So I decided to test both Gemini 3.5 and Claude head-to-head on tasks that real people actually use agents for. Not toy problems. Real stuff. And the results are wild. First, let me be clear about what we're testing. An agent isn't just a chatbot that answers questions. An agent is an AI that can see what's on your screen, make decisions, take actions, and recover when things go wrong. Google just released Gemini 3.5 with its new agent capabilities, and Anthropic's been pushing Claude's agent features hard. So I set up 20 tasks across 5 categories: data research and extraction, form filling and data entry, customer service interactions, code debugging and fixes, and multi-step workflow automation. Each task got the same inputs, the same tools, and the same constraints. Let's walk through what happened. Task Category 1, Data Research. I asked each agent to find information about a company, specific things like their recent funding rounds, their leadership team, and their revenue range. This requires real browsing, reading between the lines, and piecing together information from multiple sources. Gemini 3.5 started strong. It opened a search engine, ran queries, opened links. But here's where it got weird. It would grab a piece of information, then move on to the next thing without actually verifying it. I watched it confidently report a CEO name from a page it didn't fully read. It got 3 out of 5 correct. Claude took longer. It was deliberate. It opened the same links, but it actually read the content. When it wasn't sure, it said so. It went back and double-checked. Claude got 4 out of 5. Not perfect, but more trustworthy. Second category, form filling. I gave both agents a complex insurance form with 30 fields and a dataset to pull from. This is where agent reliability really matters. One wrong field can invalidate the entire form. Gemini 3.5 filled it fast. Almost too fast. It completed the form in about 2 minutes. But when I checked, it had hallucinated 3 field values. It just made up information that wasn't in the source data. It knew the field existed, so it filled it. That's a catastrophic failure for real work. Claude was slower, 4.5 minutes. But every single field was either filled correctly or left blank with a note saying the data wasn't available. That's the difference between looks good and actually works. Third category, customer service interactions. I set up scenarios where the agent had to handle a customer complaint, check order status, and propose a solution. Gemini 3.5 got the customer service tone right. It was friendly, responsive, fast. But when I threw in an edge case, a customer with a refund request that didn't match the standard policy, Gemini 3.5 kind of panicked. It kept repeating the same policy without actually addressing the specific situation. It failed to escalate or think creatively. Claude, on the other hand, recognized the edge case immediately. It asked clarifying questions, documented the issue, and suggested a reasonable path forward. 3 out of 3 for Claude. Gemini got 1 out of 3. Fourth category, code debugging. I gave both agents broken Python scripts and asked them to identify the bug, explain it, and provide a fix. This one surprised me. Gemini 3.5 actually crushed this. It was precise, fast, and accurate. It got 4 out of 4. Claude got 3 out of 4. Gemini's pattern recognition on code is legitimately sharp. That's worth noting. Fifth category, multi-step workflow automation. This is where things get messy. I asked each agent to automate a workflow that involved pulling data from a spreadsheet, transforming it, cross-referencing it against an API, and outputting a report. This requires planning, error handling, and recovery. Gemini 3.5 started the workflow, hit an API rate limit halfway through, and just stopped. It didn't have a fallback. It didn't retry. It just quit. Complete failure. Claude hit the same API limit, recognized it, waited, then retried. It completed the workflow. That's the difference between a tool that looks like it works and a tool that actually works. So here's the real breakdown. Gemini 3.5 is faster and more confident. It has better instincts on tone and style. It's excellent at code tasks. But it has a serious problem. It hallucinates. It fills in gaps with made-up information. It doesn't double-check itself. It fails catastrophically when it hits an unexpected situation. For tasks where speed matters more than accuracy, Gemini wins. For anything where a mistake costs money or damages trust, it's a liability. Claude is slower. It's more cautious. It asks questions before it acts. It double-checks. When it hits an edge case, it doesn't panic. It documents the problem and escalates. For real work, for anything where you can't afford to be wrong, Claude is the more reliable choice right now. It's not flashy, but it works. Now here's the thing. Both agents still fail sometimes. Neither one is ready to run unsupervised in a critical workflow. But the failure modes are different. Gemini fails by being overconfident and making stuff up. Claude fails by being too conservative and asking for human input. If you had to choose which failure mode to live with, which would it be? For most real businesses, Claude's conservatism is way safer than Gemini's hallucinations. The other thing to watch, Gemini 3.5 just came out. Google's going to iterate fast. And Claude isn't perfect either. It's slower, and sometimes that matters. The landscape is moving. But if you're building something that needs to work reliably right now, Claude agents are the safer bet. If you're experimenting or you need speed over accuracy, Gemini 3.5 is worth testing. If you want to actually keep up with AI agents without the hype, subscribe. I'm testing new tools like this every few days, and the real data is way more useful than the marketing.